Alright guys, this is going to be part 2 of how to set up your CTI, and what I want to do is a recap on what we started on in part 1 is setting it up. Once again, just like in part 1, there are 2 ways to set this up. One is with the bridge, is what I use, or the phone jack, which is mounted in the back of your computer. Before you turn this on, this light will be yellow or orange or whatever. After you set it up and turn it on, that light will be that color. So, got that set up. My light is not on because the system shut off on its own a while ago when I got out of CTI. So it's off, but y'all gonna get an opportunity to see this in action. So the way you do this, once again, is first you hook up the yellow to the jack in behind the computer once you mount it in. Okay, make sure everything is off and unplugged before you start this. Mount your train brain onto a board, your duplex and your bridge all to a board. It makes it easier. The next thing you want to do is mount this yellow to the back of your jack on the back of your computer, the 8-pin jack or 16 or 18 8-pin jack. After you do that, you're going to color code these on the opposite color, okay, to create a loop, a processing loop. The green goes to the red, and the red goes to the green, and that's it. All you're doing is crisscrossing the colors. Red goes to green, green goes to red, to the duplex, and then after that, the line goes to the computer. If you use a bridge, this is very important. The yellow goes to the yellow. Okay, and then the process over here is the same, red to green, green to red, from the train brain to the duplex. Okay, once that's done, you put the power supply plug in. Do not put the power supply plug in until the whole system is set up. Then the last thing is you put the power supply plug in. All right, after you do that, come over here to your computer. Ouch. You're going to come to your computer. This is where you set up your system. There are 2 ways to set this system up. One is with the phone jack. The other one is with the bridge. So make sure you choose which one you want. If you are, the jack comes with the CTI startup. So once you do that, set that jack in, mount it in the back behind the computer. Then this is the way you do it with the jack. Okay? So the first thing you're going to go to, once you download it, and the icon is on, you're going to click on the icon, and then this screen will pop up. Yours will be blue, mine is gray. Why, I don't know. Don't care. As long as it's working, that's all that matters. So, what you want to do, you're going to go to settings. You're going to go to network settings first. Oh, one more thing I didn't go over is authentication. Every train brain has authentication after you download it. The very first thing before you do anything is you're going to authenticate that train brain. In the brain is going to say, trains are fun. You type that in and you push OK. I forgot to tell y'all that in part 1. That is the very first thing before you set up, is authenticate your software. You push OK. The next thing you want to do is you go to setup. You want to set up the jack. This is where everybody's getting confused, and this is where the instructions are not clear in the manual user guide. There are two versions of this. The jack is one and the bridge is the other. The first setup is with the jack. We're going to do the jack first. So we're going to go to settings. We're going to go to network settings. We're not going to use the bridge, but we are using the computer port, the jack port. So if it's not in the bridge, whatever that jack is in the back of your computer, that's what this needs to be. It could be 1, it could be 5, whatever it is. You got to find out what that jack is in order to make it work, okay? Otherwise, the system will not work with the jack. Okay? You got to figure out what that jack port is and use it. Once you do that, that should be 1, and then you push OK. We got that set up. Here's the second part. The second part of this setup with the jack. You go to DCC Systems, DCC. You're going to go to System Setup down there. Whatever system you're using, Digitrax, Lens, Linux, NCE Powerhouse, whatever the system it is, you click on it. I'm using Digitrax. So Digitrax there. Whatever the port it is that it's been mounted in, I got it in port 5 because these up here, this extra port is considered 5. I hit that, and since I am using a USB bridge, it's going to be the local buffer USB. If you're using a PR3 or PR4, that's what you put there. Okay? If it's not a PR3 or PR4 or something else of a version, local buffer 2. Okay? Once you do that, you push OK. After you push OK, do not do anything until you save it. You have to save it. That is the most important problem with everybody's having, especially me. Remember, trial and error. You have to push File and save it as whatever it is. You type in and you save it. Make sure you save it. Whatever, after you set it up, please make sure you save it. Otherwise, it will not work. You will get a yellow light over there on that bridge, or you will get flashing lights on the duplex, which lets you know it's not working. Okay? Now, the second way to do this is with the USB bridge. Okay? Remember, there's two ways to do this. This is the bridge way, the simple way, the easy way. Trust me, the bridge is easier. All right, what you're going to do is you're going to go up here to settings. You're going to go down to network settings. You're going to push USB bridge because that's what we're using. Make sure that's in 1 and you push OK. You're going to go to DCC. Up there it says System Setup. You click that. You're going to go over here. Once again, you're going to push Digitrax. Over here, you're going to put the COM that it's in, which is 5. And then you're going to push USB buffer, local buffer USB, because we're using the bridge. If you use the bridge, you need to use this here, okay? Plain and simple. If you're using a PR3 or PR4, you won't be able to use it. It's gonna kick you out. Remember, this is the simple way. If you use a PR3, PR4 on the bridge, it's gonna kick you out. Trust me, I've tried. Trial and error, guys. Trial and error. So, there you go. Now, here's the thing, and this is very important. If you are using a DB150, a basic form without a USB port on your power command station, then you would use the PR3. I need to correct myself. Sorry, guys. I need to correct myself. Then you use the PR3, PR4 on the bridge. But make sure, and this is very important, make sure that whatever you use is in the right port for the US, for that PR3 or PR4 to work. Trust me. Trial and error, guys. Trial and error. So if you're using a whatever it is over here, whatever port it is, whatever you use, you make sure it's in the right port. Otherwise, it's not going to work. All right. So I need to make sure I clear that up. So that is the second way. The basic way is, for me, is to buy. I bought the Digitrack system with the USB in it to work this. I had to spend a little money, but you know, it's well worth it after all the trial and error. Trust me. So this is the second way. Once again, let's clear out of here. We're going to go to settings. We're going to go to network settings. We're going to go down here to USB bridge, which is what I'm using. Make sure that's in 1. Push OK. Then go to DCC. Go to system setup. Type in Digitracks, which what I'm using is in port 5. I'm using the bridge, which is the local buffer USB, and then I push OK. Once again, once you do this, you have to save it. Make sure you go up here and save it. Every time you do this, you need to save it. It's already saved, but I'm just doing this for purposes, for learn how-to purposes. All right, now that we got that all situated, everything is up, everything is set up. We're gonna go over here. We're gonna click on DCC online. Down here, it'll say online halted. It'll give you a time. It'll give you a session. Yours will be 0000011, and it'll start from there. So we got that. The next thing, we're going to click on the engine. It says here, since I'm already on, it says the railroad design has changed, recompile before running. This is what you check your software, your code that you put in, and it'll say that. We'll get to that in a minute. And then after that, we'll push online. And this is what you'll see. We'll talk about the activity log in a second. So this is what you want to see. Okay? If something by any chance, let's go on and talk about the activity log so you'll know what's going on. Let's turn this off. Okay? See, it says communication closed. I'm going to click on it. See the Digitracks? This is what the code that you want come up in your activity log. A snoop and an echo. If it's doing that, then your system is up and running. And if it's up and running, you will have flashing green light, a green light on the bridge, and flashing lights on your brain train. that lets you know that it's working. Everything is working, okay? It is so important. If that's not happening, it's going to tell you in the activity log. All right. All right. How to set up the engine, your engines, okay? But before we do that, we need to talk about the activity log. Okay, to get your activity log, to let you know that this thing is working, we're going to go over to settings. We're going to go over to activity log. You're going to put in, well, I put in when and do, log control. When and do is the code, no, the codes for whatever you put in your code into the what you want your layout to do. Can't hardly explain it, but the when and do is part of your code. The log sensors, the log controller, log diagnostics, which is what it's running right now, is letting you know. DC communication, which is letting you know right now, and log communication rate, which is the IO rate right there. See, this is what you want it to show at all times. Okay? All right, so we got all of this. What we want to see in activity log, we're going to push OK. We're going to save it, and we're going to push OK. We're going to go to view. Okay? Now, view is you want to see everything that's going on from the layout perspective. Okay? This is the basic way to look at what's going on. You're going to go up to control, which is your relays on your brain train. You're going to slide them over. We want to go back to view. We're going to get sensors. We want to see our sensors. And we're going to put those. The next thing is your activity log, which is right there, which is what we have right there. Okay? So, we have those all set up. Now, as you can see, here's your sensors, here's your controls. As you can see, spare, 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 spare. That means I have nothing in those relays to run. So that is empty. We're not going to worry about the control because there's nothing on the controls. But the sensors is a different story. Let's go up to the sensors. All right, the sensors. The sensors is what this train layout runoff is sensors. It gives the commands, which relay the commands from the computer to the digitracks. Okay, so the sensor to the computer. The sensors to the brain train, from the brain train to the computer, from the computer to the digitracks. Okay, once again, sensor, brain train, computer, command station. Okay, so, and it's very easy to put the magnetic sensor in, but you got to be very careful how you mount these in so you don't break the magnetic sensor. Okay, so early in part 1 you saw that train run off the sensors, so that's the easy part. No, actually, let me take that back. That's the hard part, but I'm going to make it easier for you real quick. All right, so as you can see, there are sensors. You see station 1, spare, spare. Now the reason why is because it says spare, spare is I'm only using one program instead of 3 programs with 3 different, well, 2. I'm not using the other sensors. I'm only using one sensor on this program, okay? So we're going to stop this and we're going to start with part 3. And part 3 is going to be about setting up your engines and your program, all right? So I will be right back for part 3. So hold on 1 second.